All right, let's just jump right in. If you're a chiropractor, your website has to do so much more than just list what you do. Its real job is to build trust. You're talking to someone who's probably in pain, feeling a little anxious, and just looking for help. We're going to break down exactly how to do that using a powerful asset you already have.
So let me ask you a big question right up front. After all the hard work you put into your practice, into your website, is it possible it's accidentally turning new patients away? Could you be missing just one key thing that's making people hesitate and then click away? Because you have to get inside a potential patient's head for a second. They aren't just shopping. They are asking these really personal, high-stakes questions. Can I really trust this person? Will I feel comfortable there? Choosing a chiropractor is a huge trust decision, and your website has to provide the answers that calm those fears.
And that brings us to the first big idea, which we'll call the trust hurdle. See, because what you do is such a high-trust service, your website's #1 job is simply to get people over that initial wall of uncertainty.
Think about how people find you. It usually starts on Google, right? They search, they see your clinic, they see your star rating, and all those reviews. And that builds a nice initial layer of trust. They feel good enough to click. But what happens in that very next moment is absolutely crucial.
And here's the problem in a nutshell. On Google, trust is high. The social proof is right there in their face. But the second they land on your website, poof, it all vanishes. And that trust level just drops like a rock. All of a sudden, they're not so sure anymore. And you're making them start their entire evaluation all over again from scratch.
Which leads us directly to the solution. Those Google reviews, they aren't just for Google. They are one of your most powerful and most hidden conversion tools, just sitting there waiting to be put to work on your own turf.
And think about what this really means. By leaving your best reviews stuck over on Google, you are making your website work so much harder than it needs to. A potential patient can read all about your great services, and they might even like your approach, but then they leave without booking. Why? Because they never got that final, critical piece of reassurance.
So how do we fix this? Well, it's not about just dumping a bunch of reviews onto a single testimonials page and calling it a day. The key, the real key, is strategic placement. It's about putting the right review in the right place at the right time. So, the first and most obvious spot is your homepage. This is your digital front door. It's where a visitor makes that split-second decision. Does this clinic feel credible enough for me to even keep looking?
And for the homepage, you want a review just like this one. Broad, warm, and trust-building. See how it doesn't talk about a specific condition? It talks about feeling comfortable, feeling like you're in good hands. That's exactly what someone needs to feel before they'll be willing to dig any deeper into your site.
Okay, next up, your service and condition pages. This is where reviews go from being generally comforting to becoming highly persuasive. Why? Because you're adding specific proof right where a patient is researching their specific problem.
Just look at the power of this. Imagine you're suffering from sciatica. You land on a page about sciatica treatment, and you see this review. It's not just a testimonial anymore. It's a direct answer to that nagging question in your head, will this actually help my pain? It just melts away that hesitation. And finally, we have what might be the most powerful placement of all, right next to your new patient forms or your appointment request buttons. This is the moment of decision, the point where just a little nudge of confidence can make all the difference. A review like this is just perfect here. It speaks directly to the anxiety someone feels before their first visit. It says, hey, I was nervous too, but it was easy. It tackles that fear head on and makes that request an appointment button feel so much safer to click.
So now that we know where to put these reviews, let's just quickly cover a few common mistakes so you can make sure you're doing this the right way and not falling into any traps.
All right, 4 quick mistakes to avoid. First, the testimonials graveyard, that one page where reviews go to be forgotten. Don't do it. Second, review overload. Don't create a giant wall of text. A few powerful reviews are way more effective. Third, make sure the review actually matches the page. A headache review doesn't belong on the sciatica page. And finally, number 4, keep them fresh. A review from last week carries so much more weight than one from 3 years ago.
Now, let's be realistic. Doing all of this manually, finding the best reviews, copying them over, keeping them fresh, that takes a lot of time. And your time is best spent with patience, not fiddling with your website. And that, my friends, brings us to the magic of automation.
The goal here is to have a system in place that keeps your website armed with your best, most recent social proof. A system that's working for you 24/7 to turn hesitant visitors into confident new patients, without you having to manually update it all the time.
And that's where Tool can be a complete game changer. For example, a service like Reputation Riser is designed to solve this exact problem. It automatically syncs with your Google Business profile, finds your best reviews, and then displays them strategically all over your site, on the homepage, service pages, and right next to those appointment forms. It does the work for you.
So the takeaway here is simple. Stop leaving your most powerful trust-building assets stranded on Google. Put them to work on your own website. If you want to see how automation can make this whole process effortless, you can learn more about how a tool built for this works at reputationriser.com. It's all about turning those uncertain visitors into confident new patients.